Okay, good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. We just got a rip out of the indexes there. The Dow screaming. So is NQ. Just straight up, guys. Straight up. I caught this nice long, hit my payout for top one. I'll go over that here shortly, let people kind of filter into the stream a little bit. Still early. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, D-Bomb. Hope everybody's doing well. Jay Scott, Dehydrated Henry. I'll just call you Henry. Super user. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing awesome. Friday vibes, right? Jody, good morning. Edgar, good morning. This is the trade I took right out of the open here, guys. I got stopped out once for $100. Then I caught that next uptrend on two minis for $700. Put me at net 600. And I hit my second payout in the same top one account. So that's 7K total in top one. I'll request that after the market closes today. So it officially puts me at 10 trading days for the payout. And then watching gold here. Gold's down 2%.
According to a statement, Israeli defense minister instructs the military to prepare an enforcement plan against Iran following the 12-day war.
So do we close in on, yeah, Corey, just straight up. You know me. I'll be looking for a fade here sooner or later, but it's a bit early. My fade scalps. We are starting to form a little distribution right here. Looks like it wants higher though, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Hell of a move. Oof. Craziness. Look at this. Still early, right? We got to let this thing play itself out here. Still early. Oh, I don't know, guys. Not many setups here. Gold, I don't want to long. I don't want to short here. I'm kind of afraid of what gold can do here. We're smack in the middle of the initial balance. This feels very coin flippy to me. Obviously, it's a return to value. So the obvious trade is a long here. So I might take a little stab at this one long. See if we can get a little upside here. We were down a lot. People are going to hopefully start picking up some gold after this sell-off, but we could reject out of value as well. So let's see if we can get some strength out of here. Here we go. Nice. Nice move on gold there. Got the initial balance at 90. If anybody's trying to hold a little longer, that would be the profit target. Let's take a look at the volume profile here. We do have a low volume node right here. All right, we got this one right smack there. Kind of right where we want to. So I'd be careful holding this one any longer than that. Morning, bro. Morning, Dean. All right, so I took profits right there into that low volume node. Seems to be working out. It worked out nice. I'm up $300 in my top steps so far. How high can NQ go? This is like melt up territory. You guys know about the melt up? So there's this theory in economics, like even in like poor, typical meltdown for Chuck. Even in poor economic conditions, we could have what's called a melt up where like things like risk assets actually go up in price. And it's based on hysteria and all these weird macroeconomic factors. And it usually ends very badly, kind of like a bubble. Morning, Ken. So that was a nice little scalp in gold, kind of like the return to value. This thing could still inch higher. It's been moving quite slow. NQ going higher. 22,800s. Look at this thing. All right, we're going to wait for this thing, like the dust to settle on this thing, right? You know, it's too late to get long up here. You could try and scalp this thing long. Good luck with that. It's not something I do. You know, I need to wait for some type of fair value to be established here to trade this at this point. So this is normally where FOMO kicks in for most people. They start shorting it, they start long in the top, all right? So I'm here to tell you, you don't have to trade this. There's going to be better opportunities to take trades. We're day traders. It doesn't matter that it's going straight up. Unless you own a equities, which is nice in your portfolio. This is great for you. You're making money otherwise. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to trade, that you can wait for a good setup. Oh, like that. Somebody just dumped. See that? It was almost a 30-point. Yeah, well, how'd you know it was going to be a rubber band is the question. Just dropped out of nowhere. You just happened to be in a position. Nobody knew that was coming. Overstretched above the 9 EMA. Got it. So Carlitos, how many payouts have you gotten this month? It's going to try and reclaim this whole thing.
1.9% after exiting BNP Paribas raises to outperform neutral.
Looks like we do have a bit of a distribution forming here. Bob says, morning, Tony. Chris, would you have any idea when I'm getting the shaded box on the IB area? If I turn on initial balance coloration period, the box draws indefinitely high-low, but I want to look the same as yours. Good question. Let's see. I don't even have that checked. Color IB areas. Make sure it's colored. IB background color.
The Lota says that sold deal floating is 40K for 5 years, then 10K after that. So the Lota speaking to reporters at the Capitol.
Yeah, I think it would be this one here, color IB areas.
Republican representative Lota speak to reporters at the Capitol. The Lota saying 40K, then 10K sold deal doesn't work for me.
There's a way you can change the color.
Specifically,
Couple little shorts there.
He's a hard no for the plan.
Hitting 600 times 5. You know, just little scalps, nothing really. You know, this is the distribution we have formed here. You can see it. So it's got its own, you know, value area high, its own value area low. And we can expect it's got its own point of control. And we can expect it to trade in here until it materially leaves.
According to calculations, daily oil loadings from Russia and Western ports seen down 3% in July from June, according to sources.
Yeah, no composite volume profile. So all we have is our intraday levels here. That gold never went higher. Glad I took profits where I did. Oh, this is going to be that low volume node, 784. See if we can get a little lower out of it. So we have kind of this.
Lawler says we hope to announce we're delivering on SALT. That's Republican Representative Mike Lawler speak to reporters.
I mean, we're so due for a bigger pullback. It's scary. I mean, it's tough to go long. It really is. We're due for a much bigger pullback. This is the volume profile visible range. So whatever candles are on the chart will build a. It's kind of like the best thing I got. It works. So visible. So whatever's visible, it will build a profile for. So you can zoom in and zoom out and it adjusts based on what's on the chart. Kind of the best thing we got. Kind of interested in this area. See if we can get a little lower out of it.
We do have a video. We'll pop it on the feed for you.
Yep, it's in there. It's included in Project X. Yep. Volume profile fixed range. I think it only has default scripts. I don't think you can add any. I'm gonna see if we can get a little lower for another long attempt.
2.9% after Rothschild & Co. Redburn upgrades to buy for neutral. We have posted a video where Besson is speaking.
So we're smacking the point of control right here. So I wouldn't expect much lower, and this could be our new value area for a little bit. So we'll see. There's some empty air all the way down to 770. 85 and 770. Yep, that's kind of this gray box I have. Then we got another one down here. Still came pretty close to my blue line. So that's me kind of like building my own value area high, value area low for this distribution. In fact, I'll probably move it a little lower at this point, probably right there. This would be a point of control. Oh, now it just turned into the new point of control, at least on this visible. Oh, I gotta pull up YouTube. Good morning to everybody on YouTube. Well, that was the spot to long. Nailed it. Just on this. Didn't trust it. Visible. Sorry, guys. I wasn't looking at YouTube. Good morning, John from Bangkok. LJ Biz, who's long already? I took a long earlier. Closed it much earlier. Hard to hear on YouTube today, says John. Which, well, that was the spot to long. Just turn up your volume. Nailed it. I guess. Which indicators are below? I'm new to your channel. Loved your VWAP setup. Thanks, Barat. I recommend going into the Discord. All of that information is in the Discord. You can join it for free. I'm going to put that in the chat. And there's a ton of YouTube videos that go over all of it. Let's see. Good morning, volume profiler. Fritz, hi guys. I got ripped the last 2 days in Asia. Yeah, Asia's tough, man. I don't trade Asia. I wouldn't short unless you're trying to scalp short. This is kind of the spot where you can scalp a little bit. We're at the upper end of the volume profile. Evals. Lance, when tick strike goes completely silent, is that a sign for your fade? It could be, Lance. Yep, that's typically what I'm looking for, is a little bit of a stall in volume. John says Globex has been hit or missed for me overall. Yeah, Globex is tough. I always take it in the chin, get my teeth kicked in on Globex. Okay, let me,
Benson says that the US is not going to make stocks.
all right, I lowered the sound of the tick strike for you guys on YouTube. So maybe that will help. You can turn your volume up because the tick strike will be lower. So that should help. Dan, thank you for buying the book. Appreciate your support. I hope you love it. Okay, that looked like a lower high, didn't it? See if we can get a good flush into this low volume area. So that's going to be right here. Coincidentally, right by upper band. So that looks like a good level to try and catch a long.
Democratic lawmakers briefed on Iran, so they had no.
If it gets there.
This is echoing what the senators.
It's kind of trading in this distribution here.
Briefing about Iran.
And then we have another one down here. So the reality is sooner or later, there's going to be a decent pullback, right? I don't want to be caught holding the bag on that big pullback, right to the bottom of that distribution again. I am going to try it along here. All right, right into this low volume area. See how it does. Seems heavy, doesn't it? Tough to trade here, guys. Feels like it wants to flush so bad. I got out. I got out break even, scratch that one. Still up 627. This is a $50 loss. I don't like it. It's tough. Real tough. Ugh. Yeah, the delta's weak. I don't know, would you try to short maybe at this point? That was a pretty beginning of a pretty big pullback. We could get some nice something nice.
essence says perfect cannot be enemy of the good in the tax bill.
Cumulative's kind of weak here. I'm going to break even now. See if we can get a little bit of a flush through this volume zone. Go. Come on. Delta's slowing down here. Damn it. Not going to make it easy, are they? Well, they sold into that. Come on. Push this thing down.
Okay, that concludes Besant's comments then at the Road to Majority Conference.
Like the break of this flush of this low volume node right down to this next peak right here. That's what I'm looking for.
New York Post posted an article about an hour ago that Trump aims for trade deals with key partners in Asia in coming weeks, with sources cited by the New York Post.
Might take it again. Initial balance is set. All right, I'm in again. Into this low volume node. Boom. Oh, come on. Yes. Boom. There it is.
According to TASS, Putin said we are ready for a third round of discussions with Ukraine.
Cumulative delta, Bob, is like straight down. Okay, so let's talk about two things here. There's market rhythm, right? We have to have rotations, and this is too early to go long, generally.
CNN citing Republican Representative Lawler, who says sole negotiations.
All right, so rotations. Okay, market rhythm, and then cumulative delta. You guys watching the cumulative delta at all? You are. And tick strike. This gives us there's no buyers, guys. You don't want to go long when there's no buyers. Not yet, anyway. So this is our cumulative delta. Right? We had a divergence, higher high, lower high. So that puts me at my profit target in top one. This puts me at my profit target for top step. I started on the stream with $0. I put $5,000 on the board with across 5 accounts this morning. Still going down. Now we might see a little bit, you know, we had our first sign of real buying right here. This is the one that Top Step X has. The Project X. Yeah, you could have scalped that long. I mean, that was the trade, right? So we also have the anemic bounce. There's not enough buyers for continuation, right? It's not a guarantee that we'll go higher. Right? So yeah, buyers stepped in. It wasn't enough. Sellers stepped in and brought it lower. Yeah, no, there were buyers there. You know, you could have tried to take that long. It was a valid setup. We were at upper band, right? Good trade. You could have caught 20 points or 80 ticks on NQ on that trade. Would have been a nice trade. Put your stop at break even. If it keeps going, great. If not, you scratch it or take partial profits. But after that, it was, after you get an anemic bounce like that, I'm thinking lower. Especially based on this cumulative delta. Not only that, guys, we're due for a decent pullback here sooner or later. I mean, we've had a massive run. Okay, so let me put this away for a second. All right, so I'm done with Top Step for the week. This last week I did $7,000 in profit times 5. All right, so I'm going to lock myself out of this. Turn the copy trader off. Gooseface is in the room. This is like my shutdown routine. Flatten all, lock myself out. I don't want anything going wrong over the rest of the day, right? Lock myself out of all this stuff. It's been a great week. Cancel all my orders. All right. So now this is done for the day. Not much I can do. $1,000 times 5. Could very well be a, pullback. Or as Carlitos loves to say, it's a bear flag. It's a bear flag. A bull flag. Sorry, bull flag. I'm just playing. Okay. I'm gonna go over my top one here too, and then I'm gonna switch over to cash, guys. Switch over to cash, and we'll get some tips for the day. So this is top one. Just hit my second payout of 3,500 in this one. Look at that. There's your bear trap. Nice call, Bob.
EU and US confident they'll reach tariff deal by July deadline.
Also sounds like some news broke.
EU and US confident they'll reach tariff deal by July deadline.
Let's close this down. This is all locked out. Yeah, good. This one, my month here. Pretty darn good. This was Juneteenth, so the market was closed. This is waiting for my payout to get processed. So I didn't trade those days. And I'll be requesting another $3,500 out of this. Well, I'm just assuming, why I'll guess why Bob thought that, but it's a pullback in a very strong market. Bull runs like this do not die easily. So I played the rest of the distribution upper band on NQ pretty much to what was at this point a peak of another volume node was my profit target, and we hit it almost to the tick. You guys saw that. That was my profit target right here. It was this volume node right here. So high volume nodes, point of controls, on each distribution, they make great profit targets. Oh, interesting, Bob. So I'm heading over to Tampa after the stream today. I'm going to be on ASFX, the podcast on YouTube with Austin Silver. We talked about the new book. So I'm actually going to meet with him in person. He lives in Tampa. I'm driving over tonight, going to stay at a nice hotel in Tampa. And then we're going out to breakfast, and then we're going to record the podcast tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that. It should be fun. Nice to network with other traders. He also trades VWAP, so it's a good fit. So Fritz asks, can I buy the CVD from Zillerman? That's the best fit I have. It's not perfect, but you'll get a bunch of other indicators. And also Zillerman is also coming, building some custom indicators for the VWAP Wave system. So that will be really cool. Yeah, he does love VWAP. Trader Rick asked the time frames on these charts. Let me actually clean this up a little bit here. So this is a 5-minute, Rick. This is my execution chart. I have the initial balance, IB, and then I normally drop a volume profile at the regular trading hour open. So 9:30 on the equities, Eastern Standard Time, 8:20 a.m. for gold. Up left here, this is my hourly chart, and I just have an entire session volume profile on this. This is where we are relative to previous sessions, previous value areas, point of controls on the higher time frame. Down here is a 30-minute chart. And on this 30-minute chart, I have weekly VWAP and monthly VWAP. All right, so we are in clear bullish territory above all the upper bands on the week and the month. And then down here, you might not be able to see it very good, but this is a daily chart with a yearly VWAP. just to kind of gain a macro perspective on where we're at in the grand scheme of things. And the yearly VWAP is also quite interesting. Look how we held this level almost to the tick for like 5 days. Same thing with, oops, upper band here. Lower band, sorry. And we actually, anybody who's been on the stream for a while talked about these levels on the daily. So this is also great for swing trading. This is how I trade options, is with the daily chart with a yearly VWAP for my longer term positions, which I don't really talk about here. I don't want to convolute my day trading strategy and message with other asset classes. Dan, I live in Jupiter, Florida. Well known for Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan. We have Lara and Eric Trump live down the street. Lara actually works out at my gym. Chris Drysdale. I'm just a normal guy who just loves trading and has dedicated myself to the craft. And I love to teach. There's that too. I don't just teach trading. I teach Olympic weightlifting, CrossFit. I've been a CrossFit coach for God, 14 years for fun, just totally as a hobby. I don't know. We might get another short out of this. I might start building a little bit of another short position here in my cash account. So obviously it's not based on the bands, guys. In fact, I want to get rid of the bands on this chart for now. Now, we'll wait.
Putin was tasked says energy sanctions are unlikely to impact Russia. OPEC Plus accounts for oil demand increase.
Nice. This is the cumulative delta on TradeAbate. You can go to volume based, cumulative delta. You need the order flow package, but it's my favorite. It shows these abnormal buying and selling pressure candles. So it keeps you patient, wait for some buying, real abnormal buying pressure to step in on the CVD. So I think it's really powerful. So Lager says, is it scary to be on the short side with markets like this? Well, if anybody knows my background, I used to short parabolic small caps, so I'm a little used to it. That used to be like my thing. But the way I look at it, Lager, especially when I have a nice level to follow or a high conviction level, it's not scary because, you know, it's easy to tell when I'm wrong. If it breaks this and starts holding above, I'll just get out. You know, I'll take the loss. Sucks, you know, could be a couple $100, could be $1,000, but my setup locations are so accurate for at the very least a reaction. It gives me time to, at the very least, either take small profits or put a stop at break even. And as you guys see, I very actively manage that. And if it stops me out for a scratch or a small loss, whatever, you know, there's so many opportunities to take another trade. I don't want to, what I don't want is to get stuck holding a bad trade. Because that sucks. Because that's going to take me away from taking better trades. No, this volume profile is actually at the regular trading hours. That's at the open. But TradingView just puts it on the left side of my screen. You could put it on the right side. But it's anchored here. It's anchored at the open. This is anchored at futures open at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, I want to thank everybody who bought the book. It's been a great launch. It's already like #1 in new releases on the futures category.
So do you have a link for Q-Tip and the speaking live? We'll get everybody out for you on video.
This
Thanks to Trump.
Amazon hot new releases. It's #1 in investment analysis and strategy. How cool is that? #1. Just because it's new, but still, I think that's cool. #1.
That video is out for you to watch. Excuse me, let me redo that video.
Okay, some more selling pressure coming in here. We're going to be watching for the VWAP Bounce. ES is still holding upper band, by the way. Yeah, super user. It's not. Everybody asks that. It is confusing. Everybody gets confused by it. It's not just you. Oh, smokes. Ah, okay, see that? That's what you gotta want to look out for when you're long in a market like this. Boom. Look at that. Ah, there was so much volume that tick strike is absolutely quiet. Nice. So that went right to that low volume area.
Trump says news conference at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time at the White House.
I was watching. Right there. Look at that. I think a beauty right there if you caught that. You gotta act quick. There was literally no time to think.
Supreme Court rulings.
No fear, Zalos. Nice, JP. Dow was still going straight up. Look at the Dow. Awesome, John. Thank you. Thank you, Fritz. Zane, I do not use moving averages now. It confuses what I'm trying to establish based on the volume profile and being in balance versus price discovery. It conflicts with that, in my opinion. Mine didn't really touch on NinjaTrader either. Didn't touch on TradingView. Didn't touch on any of them, actually. And ES is still pretty far from VWAP. Awesome, Zane. Let us know if you have any questions. All right, back down. I'm probably not going to take this again, guys. I don't like the second touch. Even though it didn't really touch the first time, I'm going to wait to see if ES touches VWAP. And my finger is on the trigger. I'm up $500 already. 5 trades. $500. $100 a trade. All right, let's watch cumulative delta, see if we get any buyers come in here sooner or later. Ah. That was kind of the touch. See what we could get here. We short the pop. Inclined to short the pop. Based on the cumulative delta.
Fed says overall bank capital mandates generally stay the same. The Fed issuing statement on
Yes.
supplementary leverage ratio. Regulators say comments on capital revisions to August.
Told you guys, inclined to short that pop. That was nice. I'm gonna take that. You gotta be fast on your feet in this market, guys. Shorted that pop, brought me down another 20 points, almost 20 points. 15. Okay, good stuff. It's only been an hour. Crazy. So in 1 hour, I put up $1,000 in my top steps times 5 and almost $800 in my cash. And then I hit payout in the top one at the open. It's been a good Friday. I'm inclined to switch to just kind of take my monies for the day and go into the weekend on a really good note. I have an interview, a podcast. I want to roll into that, talking about how great I've been trading. So I'm going to stick around for the next hour and help you guys call some shots here, but I'm probably not going to take any more trades. It's not going to be live, Carlitos. It'll be recorded. It's going to be on ASFX, the YouTube. So I'll be able to, once it's edited and they release it, then I'll be able to share it with everybody. All right, we got some buyers stepping in here. You know, the cumulative delta doesn't look all that attractive yet. You know, the buyers keep getting sold into. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, the cumulative delta is a little more compelling here. So this might be the first leg of our VWAP bounce. Well, Jody, you know, it's a lot of experience and a lot of practice is really what it is. A lot. All day, every day for years, to be honest. You know, you can't trade like me after, you know, just a couple of months, you know, and I've been at it every day for years. And that's what it takes every day, but not for months, but for years. They say most day traders fail. That's because most people give up because it's a long process. They either give up because they want to make money and they're not, or they give up because, you know, it's not gratifying, you know, put in work every day, all day without, you know, little to no reward. In fact, not only is there little to no reward, but there's costs involved. You know, especially if you're losing money, you know, you got to spend money on all the software and the fees and this and that. Saying thank you. I'm glad you're finding that the system is helping complete your knowledge of the markets. I hear that a lot. It's really cool. It's really exciting to be able to bring this in a nice packaged way for people to complete their trading. Carlitos, I agree with that 100%. Base hits, they add up. You know, look at my, let's go over these stats here again. Not to beat a dead horse, but okay. Well, the long was down here, guys. Right around when I said there's buyers stepping in. You know, you could have taken a long at any point and grabbed a nice move. Okay, so this is 200 trades over the last month. 200 trades. Out of those 200 trades, I won 80% of them. My winner is about twice the size of my loser. My average winner is just a little over 100 bucks. 100 bucks. My average loser is about 50 bucks. Not one red day. 204 trades, 238 lots. Average trade is just under 4 minutes. Both wins and losses. My losers, maybe I give an extra minute or so. Trade direction, it's almost even. Maybe a little bit of a short bias. Best trade was $682. My worst trade was $292. JP, so I think sometimes my writing might come off as like confrontational, and I'm not whatsoever. I'm totally up for opinions and friendly discourse. Like, I don't mind differences in opinion whatsoever. I think there's tons of ways to look at the market. And, you know, so I'm always up for some friendly banter. And I apologize if my writing ever comes off as hostile. It's not. It's just how I write, I think. So that's why I said I hope I'm not coming off as confrontational. I think there's a lot of opinions, especially when it comes to trading. There's no one right way to do things. I have my experience, what's been working for me, and that's what I share, you know. But I'll never tell anybody that this is the way it needs to be done. This is the logger, this is the delta histogram. So also under volume based, delta histogram. So this just tells you the delta on a per candle basis. Out of each 1 minute or 5 minute candle, whatever you're looking at, it'll tell you which has more aggressors, buyers or sellers. So for example, this candle had 206 more, 216 or so, more buying market orders than selling market orders. Mustafa, work is getting in the way of your trading. You're gonna have to talk to them. Uh-oh. Trump speaks in 20, Corey says. Mind your positions. Just leave me alone, right? Don't talk to me. I'll get my work done, I promise. I like that idea, Corey. I can get down with that. Maybe a little bit above it. Someone put a ball gag in his mouth. Kind of kinky, Kyle. This chart, the hourly chart is wild. It's just like grind up. This hourly chart right here. Look at this thing. This goes back to Monday. So this is our week. Right here. Started right here. Sunday. Just having some fun with trend lines here.
Baker Johnson says the July 4th tax bill deadline may slip.
What do you mean? No animal shapes. It's an alligator for Florida. I call this the Florida alligator price pattern. All right, so, that was a fade value or extreme. Sorry, guys, I was busy drawing alligator price patterns here. It's 10 points from that level. Hit it to the tick on NQ. That would have been a good one. My proprietary Florida alligator price pattern. Tarpon. Yeah, Gerard, I am working with Zierman on a system indicator. Yep. Yes, I am. We have a couple of ideas that we're working on that fit into the VWAP Wave system. JT asked, do I use market internals for future trading? I do. I do keep my eye on the VIX. What our volatility, sometimes I'll trade ES or NQ, depending what the VIX is at. I do have the VIX and the tick down here on tick strike, telling me the strength of each. VIX is inversed, so when it goes up, it's going down, and when it goes down, it goes up. So everything stays correlated. Obviously, when the VIX is going up, the market's going down. So I have that switch. So everything is going down or up. There's a little reversal button right there. So I can see the strength of all the buying and selling pressure here on the market internals, plus the specific instruments I trade. Man, that played off to the tick. Anybody grab that? I'd like to hear that somebody took that trade. Nice, Dean. That was a setup. If anybody's watched it live, we were coming right up to that upper band. We touched it to the tick. I'm also number 1 in the futures category. Line trading. I want to say I'm like number... was here. A lot of books, huh? I got these books by Trader Dale. They're absolutely terrible. It's like a children's workbook. It couldn't get any more basic.
So still trying to find the live video for Trump later on. 11:30 a.m. time. Just speaking on the situation of the
Would have been a good trade. 880, you know, you'd be up. Would have grabbed 20 points at least there, 80 ticks.
So it's just about, he's probably going to speak about the universal blocks on Trump's birthright citizenship order. But of course, if he speaks about it, we'll cover that as well. As I'm still trying to find a video of him live.
It's kind of silly, right, Mustafa? You know, once somebody finds out you can get it for free, like I'd be pretty pissed off, I feel like. Trying to sell me a fixed range profile for $200. Just tell me I can get it for free. Like, come on.
Lawler, $40,000 remains for salt cap.
I mean, it's one thing to create something that doesn't exist for free and sell it, but to package something that's free and sell it,
in a strong
I don't know,
position.
man. I like being able to sleep at night. Perfect 5-star so far. Hopefully we keep it that way. Zane, I prefer VWAP bands on the futures products. Always. ES, NQ, GC for gold. Okay, now, you know, this, we're getting even tighter now. So the way I see it, you know, we have this low volume area right here. Probably tighten this one up. Like that. That. So if we're trading level to level, right? Here's one level. This is our fight zone. We have upper band, low volume node in the same spot. Then we have point of control. Then we have IB high, value area high. So those are our levels to the upside. To the downside, we have value area low, regular trading hours. And then we have this this is also point of control right there on the session. Okay, looks like it's trying to push through this low volume area. Then we'll probably go to point of control at 97. Back to this upper band though. Oh, maybe because, do you have like a UK account? You might have to leave it on the UK version site, not the US version site. I do think the countries matter. So I'm going to assume that we're going to push through this low volume zone, but we'll see if it continues to hold. We put in this lower high here. I don't know. Kind of expect us to go back to the point of control.
Further detail into this, then American physicist will be exempt from penalties related to a 2021 global minimum tax bill that Trump proposes.
So this is kind of my battle zone, right in the middle of it. So far, it's rejecting out of it. A good trade would be like starting to scale into this thing up until, point of control, looking for the fade. Right, there is. Yep. Let me post that here.
So we do have the live video. We'll post it out for you to watch.
Doesn't go over cumulative delta. There's another one that is cumulative delta. Yeah, no, I can share Mustafa. So one is going to be like a higher time frame confluence indicator based on the the weekly, monthly, and session VWAPs.
So we have posted out the video.
So it's going to tell us, if like we're above upper band on all of them, that we should have a bullish or long bias. Or if we're above or below on one, just kind of like a quick reference chart. That's nothing too exciting, but that's one. The other would be it's going to drop automatically anchored VWAPs at like the swing highs and swing lows. You know, something like that. So we came right down to it there, didn't we?
Listed out the article from New York Times again.
We
G7 back
So
to
we
back.
shorted right there.
Besides tax system,
Broke above,
political
held,
parties.
broke below. Yeah, I expect this to push through to we have kind of a significant low volume node right here. It's 792. So there's just a couple initial ideas, Mustafa. I'm always open to other ideas too, of anything people think would help. Someone had one where it automatically plots the low volume nodes for you on the volume profile. I thought that was a cool idea. Yeah, Carlita, that's where we get like the 30-point candle out of nowhere, just in the blip of an eye. Somebody drops 100 contracts on our heads. So I think he's starting right now. So let's sit tight and see what happens. I think it's starting right now, JP. I think Trump has done more press briefings in his first, what, 6 months than Biden did in his entire 4 years. Did they, Corey? That's interesting. I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing, really. I mean, we do want communication. We want to know what's going on, what the government's doing. So I think that's a good thing. It does create a lot of chaos, though. The way he does it is chaotic. Yeah. I mean, it's grinding. We're back to grinding now. It's 11:30. We had some nice rotations though. Lots of opportunities. We had this big move out of the open. We had this pullback.
Another supersized oil output increase.
Another rip to highs there. Pull back to VWAP. Now this move, you know, some really, 50-point rotations almost. Oil tanking. OPEC is set to weigh another supersized oil output increase. Right through point of control there. I did. I did enter long on the VWAP here. I kind of scalped around it. I took a bunch of trades down here, and I didn't hold anything long enough, but it was enough to put some good money in the account today. Across all my accounts, top one payout locked in, $3,500. Top step, 2K away from 5 XFAs again.
OPEC Plus nations have agreed on a bumper 411,000 barrels per day increase in each of the previous 3 months. Several delegates who asked for being advised that their nation
Go for another. I might try and go for the 25K payout on those.
when they convene on July 6th.
That'll take about 2 weeks based on how I like to trade. $1,000 a day for 10 days. $25,000 payout. I always say that and then I chicken out. I get to like a $12,000 First, it was an $8,000 payout. I took that one. The next one was a $12,000 payout. I took that one. Every single time I start with the intention of getting to 25K, and I always take it way before. Yeah, I would go on Top Step. I was thinking about pitching the book to them for sure. And I trade Top Step, and I've taken, I'm in the 5K club for sure. Well over 5K club. I like those guys. I think they're entertaining. I don't know if they're doing the viewers much service in terms of trading, but I think they're entertaining. There's just too many different trading styles going on at once, and it's just a clusterfuck of just different things going on. And you know how I feel about naked charts. I think there's a place for me to apply to go on Top Step TV. It came out in one of my payout emails. Richie says that would be great. Those old timers are boring as hell. It's cool to add a little flair from the past. Those pick trader guys, even though they probably can't trade to save their lives today, but they had their moment. What's his name? Hogue? He's like a nice guy. Trader Inc. Hey, we will be hiring one day, Zane, as the community continues to grow. All right, we got that grindy action, guys. They got everybody out. Now this looks like it could be the next leg up for sure. ES is already at session highs, all-time highs. I think it will. Based on this grindy price action, I would probably say yes. Oh yeah, I see that. Pretty tight distribution there too, isn't it? It's been there for what? 5, 10, 15, 30, 40, like almost an hour. Yeah, but the S&P 500 has already broken all-time highs. Just because the futures instrument hasn't. The actual S&P 500 is at all-time highs. SPX.
US stocks gains, Dow Jones up 1%.
SPX. Well, congrats to anybody. Yeah, I still trade credit spreads on SPX and stocks. I just don't talk about that here. I don't want to convolute everything we do here. Maybe one day that'll be my next book. Or another channel, totally, Corey. It's just too much. Too confusing. And quite frankly, I have little interest. Teaching futures is hard enough. I have no interest in trying to teach people options. Hell no. No, thank you. It's hard enough for me to learn. CVD is not impressive. Lower high on CVD here. Well, I guess we have a lower, this has been, guess it's kind of confirming it, isn't it? Lower high, lower high. Hasn't made highs yet. Let's see the S&P. No, see, this is a big divergence on ES. Look at that. Can you stay solvent long enough for the short to work out, though? That's the question.
FDIC backs plan on key bank counterable affecting treasuries. Yeah, FDIC backs plan on key bank counterable affecting treasuries.
That ES chart could pull NQ up, though. That's another concern I would have. ES chart is like straight up. Let's see if you get it. That's the top of the distribution right there. So you might get a good fade value or extreme trade out of that. Or at least a scalp, maybe back to 800. You won't take a profit that quickly, will you? That got bought up. That got bought up. It's doing that grindy thing. Every time sellers step in, they buy it up. Maddening if you're short. Maddening. I hate that. It's fun when you're long. Just keep buying those little sell-offs. It's probably not even people. It's probably an algorithm. So these indicators could help, when to go short, until there's like a material change in direction. This BTX indicator seems to help a lot. You can kind of see the pivots. This is cumulative delta. Skynet. Isn't that a Terminator? Skynet? Yeah, YM, man. Straight up. If you took that, John, good job. So I have a question, guys. What do you think about? I think I know the answer to this, but there's like a big, should we have music on the stream? I'm assuming the answer is no, so everybody can choose to listen to their own music. But they also say, dead air is not good either. So curious as to what you guys' feedback is. Everybody has different taste in music. That's what I'm thinking, Corey. That's always been my initial thought. All right, cool. All right, it's unanimous. No music it is. That's Slipknot. I feel like that's not conducive. That might explain a lot, Chuck, actually. YouTube guys, I lowered the volume of Tick Strike. Is it a little better? I did it again. I don't want it to be loud. I want you to be able to hear it, but also don't want it loud. I listen to elevator music. That's what Dean said. It's like lo-fi for the most part. Chill, relaxing, lo-fi. There's like a bunch of day trader lo-fi mixes that are really good on Spotify. Are they too low, Zane? Or are they good volume? Grindy, grindy. Gold at the top of its value range here. If it breaks above this, it can go to 93. Might be high. Looks like it's selling off though. That sell-off got bought up again. They just keep getting bought up.
It was crew turns negative on falling risk.
Very sleepy market, guys. All right, well, we're coming into the last stretch here of the last 15 minutes or so. Any questions anybody has before we wrap up for the week?
2 minutes left, or 2 minutes until Trump is due.
Cumulative delta has not been promising. Oh, Yeah, definitely some buyers, right? Since point of control. It's the 5 minute. Let's go over to the 1 minute.
The Trump delivery remarks of the president is now. The video
A lot of
is
absorption
watched live.
on the buyer side, so they're supporting the bid, right? So I can see that because price is going up while these sellers are selling into a supported bid. So price continues to rise. I did not hear that Trade Evade is closing shop. In fact, I'd be shocked if they were. I find that hard to believe that Ninja Trader would pay all that money for Trade Evade and then shut it down. I also have an in with Ninja Trader. I'm actually looking to become an affiliate with Ninja Trader with their vendor program, which is not easy to do. And so I have a plug, so to speak, over there. Sounds like, Trade Evade's a big part of their business. They also talked about getting me on Ninja Trader TV, which I think would be incredible. You know, they have some really good traders on there. They have Merritt Black. It does. It's quite popular too. I think it's relatively new. They got some really good traders on there. Are you watching the oh yeah, I see it. Supreme Court limits judges' power to halt his birthright citizenship order. Here you go. Until we start getting some lower lows on these candles, I'm not convinced that this won't just get bought up again. In fact, the move has been buy every single one of these sell candles.
So we have posted out a slightly faster stream of the White House briefing with Trump on feed free to watch.
See, when we do this, you just keep buying the sell candles. Scalp it long. We're just grinding up. Nothing else to do here. Could be a little bit of a pullback. All right, guys, any questions before we wrap up here for the week? I have some stuff I need to get done before I drive over to Tampa. Bob, I don't have a specific time. I think the more pronounced the volume node is, the better those levels are. So in this case, we have this really pronounced volume area. At this point, these are some pretty good levels to fade. The bigger the volume node, the more effective the value area high and low will be. Yeah, they do move. So instead of the automated value area high, look at each volume node as its own independent value area high and value area low. Now these levels are good, but they aren't always great. it's better to do your analysis on where the volume has traded rather than these automatic levels they give you. Yeah, I see what you're seeing here. I mean, yes. Yeah, I would say it's not a great pronounced one, but it's clearly a level because if you draw a line there, you can see price. It was a resistance level here, and I think it was more pronounced early on in the day. I think we had one there, but you could see price had trouble getting over it. Once it did, it kind of took off. So yeah, I would consider that a level of interest for sure. I think it's a divot that does have some relevance. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a divot. I think it was more pronounced earlier in the session, that level. But I think it's still an interesting, a level of interest for sure. Is it like the most powerful level we have on our chart? Probably not. But, you know, it's a level of interest. It would be an area I might take profit. Or it might be an area I might take a scalp. But I wouldn't call it a high conviction level. Thanks, John. Thanks, John. Okay, they're almost off audibly. Okay. There we go. That should do the trick. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. Hope everybody has a good Friday. Hope you traded well today. If you're going to continue trading, of course, manage your risk. Stay sharp out there. It is Friday. We can see low volatility throughout the rest of the day. So, you know, try and play it smart. Don't get caught off sides, especially in an uptrending market. There might be a flush. So just a couple of things to be careful of. I will be around on the Discord. So if anybody has any questions, just tag me. I'll be around. And I'll be posting some content from my weekend out in Tampa. So follow the socials for that fun stuff. I'll post some stuff in the Discord. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll be around, so tag me if you need anything. And we'll be back at it on Sunday. We're going to have group Q&A, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday at 5 o'clock. So if you can make it, hope you'll be there. Anybody who's not in the premium Discord, you can get a free trial and join us for that. And have a great weekend, everybody. Good luck. Happy trading.